Hey everybody, Adam Savage here in my cave. Last year, Tested and I were invited behind the scenes of HBO's House of the Dragon during its season 2 production. And in the coming weeks, we're going to show you the fruits of those visits. We'll take you behind the scenes where craftspeople are painstakingly making props and weapons for the show. They're engineering dragon riding rigs and designing the iconic trappings of Westeros. Let's dive in. All right, Tim. One of your businesses here is swords, and that's one of my favorite things in the world. I was under the impression that most stunt swords are aluminum, is that right?
Yeah, I mean, for us, aluminium just is a better metal to work with for film. The main reason being is that we need our swords to be thicker than a normal sword. Because we're going to mold it and cast it in rubber.
Ah, and you can't, if it's too thin, it's just going to flop
Exactly,
around.
we need to be able to fit an armature in. So when we do it, we get aluminium and we cut it, waterjet cut it to the shape that we eventually want it to become. So it's just the outline there.
This is like 8 mil
Yeah.
aluminum.
Yeah.
Okay, so you water cut this out of a large sheet.
Yeah.
So you got a whole bunch of blanks.
Exactly.
Okay.
We have the blanks. And then we'll just lay those up onto a CNC machine and we'll CNC the edges in. So this is...
Do you do this in multiple passes or is it flat passes?
It's multiple passes.
Okay, so you set it up and it...
Correct.
It's a 5-axis mill or something?
No, it's literally, it's just like, it's our engineer, Roy, he just does it all on his...
Amazing.
Yeah.
This looks fantastic.
Yeah.
But this isn't even the finished product.
No, because, I mean, this has had a little bit of hand finishing, but not too much.
Yeah.
But once we've done that, we will then etch it and a bit more, and basically you'll end up with a sort of more steel-looking sword. This one's a little bit heavily etched, and we can go for any different size, and we can also polish it up so it becomes really bright shine.
This is aluminum.
That's aluminium, yeah.
Lest anyone ever believe that aluminum can't be made to look exactly like steel.
Yeah.
The balance on this is really
nice. It's really interesting because you have to double the thickness, it's half the weight, aluminium, of the steel.
So you're getting it to be about the same weight.
Yeah, so it's about the same weight. Wow. And once you've got the furniture on the handle, it just, it feels good in the hand as a sword should do.
It really does. And it's like, well, I'm a big fan of the bastard sword.
Yeah.
That is gorgeous.
So, but we don't just do aluminium here, and we're working at the moment on, because in our world we have Valyrian steel.
Right.
We're doing a bit of Damascus. So
Real Damascus?
Real Damascus.
For hero pieces?
Yeah.
No
way.
way.
We can't do it very often because it's so time consuming. And it's really hard. But
so when you're doing this, are you literally like looking at multiple types of Damascus patterns and choosing one that's the Valyrian?
Absolutely. We laid out a load of images of different Damascuses in front of Ryan, and we were like, well, what do you want? And he selected one. And from that, we've Jamie, our blacksmith here, he's forged up.
So these are ingots of different Damascus patterns?
That's right, yeah. So we started off with a billet with just 15 layers, and it was a process of drawing the bar out, restacking it over and over again until we finished the final layer count. We're roughly about 1,400 layers in that sword.
Do you have one of those big hammers here?
I've got a power hammer, I've got a hydraulic press outside.
Really?
All the tools, yeah.
Unbelievable. This must be a thrill to get to do some real Damascus here.
It's so exciting, it really is.
Now, to get these layers, you're mixing 2 different types of steel. Is that right?
Yeah, so they're both carbon steel, but one of them has nickel added to it. So when you come at the end to etch it, with the nickel added to it, it stops etching in the ferric chloride. And so that's where you get the contrasting pattern from between the two.
Ah, so the final part of the dressing of the sword is to do the etch, and that brings up the pattern.
That's right, yeah. So until you do that, it just looks like one solid bit of steel. So you're kind of working blind all the way through the process, really. That's why you've got these test pieces, just to make sure that
you're probably in the right department.
That's right, yeah.
And so, am I right that this is a piece? This is the forged piece?
Yeah, this is the forged piece. I mean, as I said before, we make ours slightly thicker, so this is a heavy blade.
Whoa!
But this is going to be the one we'll mold and make rubbers of. But I think we're going to try and make a lightweight version, which is the correct thickness.
With enough etching, you'll be able to see some of that etching in the casting?
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. It is hard to make it pop when you replicate it, and it requires a really delicate paint job.
I'll bet.
Yeah, so because otherwise you just lose it all.
Yeah. Will this get a fuller?
It is, yeah. So after the hardening process, we're going to add that to it.
You carved the fuller after the.
Yeah, just because of the length of the sword, it's just a concern if there's any kind of warpages, any kind of twist during the blade.
I
We
see.
just want to say, and also because we are adding a strengthener down the middle once it's moulded.
Right,
If we were to go in too deep with the filler while we were forging, as you would have traditionally done, or ground it in, there's a risk, you have something poking through the final blade.
So am I right then that when you do the hardening and you might have some movement, that the fuller's a way you can kind of bring the blade back into...
Yeah, so it kind of always tricks your eye. And also, I mean, that blade's still a little bit thicker, it's still more grinding to go. So if there is any kind of movement within the blade, you can tend to grind out afterwards, after heat treating.
Given the tip, am I right, the fuller comes up fairly high on this?
There's 3 fillers in it, quite thin.
Oh, wow.
One of them goes almost halfway down the blade. And there's 2 on the shoulders either side of it. So
Beautiful. This is so exciting. I bet you guys are thrilled about how this is good.
Yeah.
Thrilled and terrified.
It's like I said, it's really, really rare that we actually get to do a full Damascus blade.
Wait, and I said the words, but I hadn't really, you're actually going to go through a full hardening process on this too.
that's right, yeah. When it comes to the contrast between the 2 steels, that's where you really get it to pop between.
The hardening helps with that.
It really does, yeah.
So it's not just practical for battle,
Yeah.
it's a visual as well.
But it could be useful.
Yeah. Oh man, and these are all tests about different polishes.
That's
and
it, yeah. Just to
different
see.
looks you might get.
Yeah.
Honestly, every place I'm visiting on this set, the way you guys seem to make old stuff is just to make it exactly how old stuff is made.
Yeah. It really is. This show especially, and Ryan really wanted it to feel like it was genuinely medieval, and that helps. That reality helps to build a world in which you can believe that dragons can fly.
Oh, I'm so right there. I mean, every little bit of leatherwork I'm seeing, all the detail, all the tooling.
Yeah,
it's all of a piece.
There's absolutely tons of leather. We've got a leather department who make all the belts and scabbards, and
Okay, now I'm really curious about this weird, beautiful Rayskin finish.
Yeah.
Is this real Rayskin?
It's real Rayskin.
It is.
Yeah, the shine is it's a modern look.
Yeah.
But we've got another sword with Rayskin on as well, a white Rayskin.
Oh my God, it's gorgeous. I didn't know Rayskin did this when you took the tops off. I've never seen it like that.
Yeah. I think they use it in handbags and things like that.
Well, and also just the way it's overlapped. Do you wet it to get it to soften to be able to
It's really
wrap?
hard, and actually the other sword is stitched, and it's really hard to find the right place to stitch through Rayskin.
I would imagine.
But this one, it's just been glued flush, so it's just.
Well, you're hammering the pins and everything.
No,
Really?
that's a bolt.
Oh,
Made to look like it's been peened.
that is a bolt to look like it's been.
It's a nut, and it's a nut
Yeah,
screwed onto a thread on
my
there.
God,
so,
that's great.
But yeah, all those little details help to,
Really sell it.
not break the believability of this.
And are you casting brass for?
Bronze. That's a bronze one.
Okay.
So we do bronze or brass depending on what we're doing, and then we can silver plate or gold plate as well. We do that here.
So you guys are just making real swords.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So if they're, when guns go back out of fashion, you guys can rearm us.
Exactly. We're here for you. Yeah. It's
Really, I wish you could feel how beautiful this actually feels in the hand. That is a lovely thing.
And I can show you as well. We've got some Peter Johnson made swords from last season upstairs.
I would love to.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna go look at the Peter Johnson. Yeah. My heart's beating faster.
So here
Here.
we've got 2 Peter Johnson designed swords and made for season 1. We've got Blackfire and Dark Sister, and this is actually forged over in Sweden from Damas steel, and he's hand ground those. I remember him saying how difficult it was to do that, but you can see that ripple effect down there. It's beautiful.
It is such a beautiful pattern.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And this is real steel. This is a genuine sword, except for it hasn't been finely sharpened.
Exactly. And I mean, all the work and sculpting he's done on the furniture it's just fantastic.
Oh my God. This is a cleaver.
Yeah, it's a big one, isn't it?
This is a thing.
A sword worthy of a king.
It really is. I mean, all it needs is an edge, and it is a viable sword any moment in the last several thousand years.
Yeah, absolutely. But the problem for us comes in is that it's a beautiful sword that's, but for us, we needed to replicate that.
Right.
It's all very well having one sword,
Yes,
but we
yeah.
need more than that for the show. So we ended up having to replicate it. So we took his apart, molded all the components, and then we had to do an
Whoa.
aluminium version.
Oh, with an edge that replicates.
Yeah. So, which was really, really difficult. It's lost a bit of its darkness, but you can see what we had to do is photograph each element.
You literally...
Then we had to vinyl cut that. And then we had to, once it finished, when we finished shaping the blades, laying on the vinyl, weeding the vinyl, and then etching it, and hoping that it etched well,
Right.
and didn't seep in any place.
Oh my God!
So
right.
we've got 3 on top of the original, and then after that, we need to do this because obviously we're going to make rubbers as well,
Right.
And have and
Oh,
so,
right. And this actually solves your problem for the texture of the rubbers to match this.
exactly, which you can see here. This is the rubber version. So there you go.
Wow. And this one literally weighs like, I don't know, 6 ounces?
Yeah, it's nothing, and 90% of the time on set, it's
That's what they're actually
it
holding.
can,
Right.
It can,
Although I
in
have heard more
action.
people have been injured by foam swords than any other, but that's only because it's always the one they're holding.
Yeah.
That's incredible. That is totally incredible. But I'm holding back because Dark Sister is a particular favorite of mine.
Well, that's here. Dark Sister, again, amazing piece of work.
I knew it would
And
have
it's-
this kind of balance. Oh my God.
Yeah, it's a lot thinner and elegant than Blackfire.
Is this ostrich skin?
It is ostrich. And when we had to replicate it, we had to source exactly the same sort of ostrich skin as
Right.
that Peter had used.
And dragon scales.
And Peter tells me that that's actual silver, cast
Really?
into actual silver. And I said to him, God, we would plate it, but
Yeah.
he's so determined to get something authentic and real and beautiful. And it's immaculate.
No, the reason I love watching this sword go is because of how much character it has and who wields it and that the brutal martial nature of it. But I also knew that it would be light and responsive and holy shit.
Yeah.
That is something else. The gold detail on the guard is also the way it moves in the light is spectacular.
Yeah. I think he's a bit of fire gilding in there. So it's.
Is it really?
I believe so. I think he did that.
And so you guys had to do the same thing on this. You had to photograph every inch of it.
Exactly that, and then we made our own version. And
Did you have any of the etchings not go right?
there is one. There is one.
Ferric chloride will get everywhere.
Yeah. It's tucked away somewhere in the bin of disappointment.
The ignominy.
Yeah. And actually, we did end up. If you can see here, we had to make it shorter and less pointy.
Interesting.
A request from the stunt department. So it's.
You got to listen to them.
Yeah. Because it's a dangerous object.
Yeah.
It is a dangerous object.
Right.
And so
Fair enough.
it's.
Can we look at this knife? I know we're running out of time.
Yeah,
but
no, this is Corliss's knife. This is the sea snake. So this is one, and I bet I've picked up the one, or someone's put there. Basically, that turns, and it's got an astrolabe on it. So he's a seafarer, so he's able to find his way at sea at night with these. But yeah, everything's cast and.
You know what I really appreciate is there's so much sword work going on, and Weta brought so much really high level sword work to movies and television, and they cast a long shadow. But what I really see here is something totally different than that Weta aesthetic, that also feels like some totally different culture, and that's really really neat.
Yeah.
That's got to be so satisfying to make these pieces and hold on them and develop them and hold on to them at the end.
It is, and it's lovely to start coming up with the ideas and drawing them, and then slowly seeing them come to life, and then seeing, that come to fruition.
Oh, I realized too that there's like a moment when you hand Matt Smith his sidearm, and he goes, "Oh, I get this now. I see something essential."
Yeah, exactly that, and it really helps them to get their character. And I always and costume fittings, fitting the swords and the belts,
Right.
And you can see the smile on their actors' faces when they.
Everyone really is. It's
Yeah.
all sword and sandals.
Yeah, and suddenly they're like the costume designer's always like. Back to the costume. Come on, let's get back to this. It's like no.
It happens to me. It happened to me a lot watching season 1 of like there'd be dragons flying, and I go right back to being 7, seeing Seventh Voyage of Sinbad.
Yeah.
And like I'm in the same exact place.
Yeah.
Narratively, emotionally.
Yeah.
And I'm sure the actors feel that same kind of like.
I think so. Yeah, absolutely.
It's truly stunning work. Thank you so much, Tim. This
That's
is
a pleasure.
really gorgeous.
No, great to show you.
Oh, I'm just gonna go drool on this for a few minutes.